to say, show me anything that says proof sent so we can actually look at it. I think the issue was that I was using deadlines instead of run dates for the next 2 weeks.
Can you get into AdWatch?
No.
No, I was going to say I tried to, and I was getting there.
AdWatch for the managers will not work. It requires Firefox, and you can do it on a Droid if you have a Droid, but it's not going to work without having that particular browser. And even on it has to be a very specific browser. So if it's not the right version, it still won't work.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pick any of these. It really doesn't matter. And what I want to do is just download the PDF. So I'm looking at the PDF, and I want to actually open the PDF. And then once you open it, you have a choice. If you click it once, you'll notice at the top up here where it says Open In, or you can open in iBooks. I'm going to show you the built-in function first, and then we'll show you some of the aftermarket applications. So it's actually opened it in the iBook. If I go back to Library, you'll see it's now on my shelf. And one of the complaints, though, is the fact that this is storing it based on the ad ID number of 2331130 that's located at the bottom. And a lot of the folks would like to rename the file so that they can search for it if they've got 50, 60 of these PDFs stored in their phone. There's another application that you can do, but you have to purchase it in order to be able to name it. When I click on this, you'll notice the bar at the top has that square with the arrow, which tells me that I can then email this out to a customer. And by doing so, it attaches it to the email so that the customer does not have access to your e-proofs. And that is basically how you would send PDFs to your customers without giving them access to your e-proofing system.
Hey Dave.
Yes?
On our phone, Jimmy set us up with PDF Reader Lite, which
Yes.
always freezes anyway. So should we delete that and download iBooks?
I would recommend that you have iBooks. Apple works well with Apple, and there's a certain level of quality that you're going to get with the products that are designed to work with each other. You don't necessarily have to delete the other one, but I would suggest that you go ahead and have the iBook available to you.
So do we need a separate PDF reader, or just iBooks will do the job?
I'm not aware. Can somebody tell me something that the PDF reader does that iBooks won't do for you?
I didn't really see anything.
Okay, well, that's my consensus as well, and I apologize again. You have different technicians. We tried to have a standard that we were deploying, and that was a deviation.
Okay.
I mean, we don't mind if you add extra stuff, but out of the box, we like certain functionality to be there. We know that this software works, and that's why we did it. Good point. Let's go look at that.
David?
Yeah?
Patty's got a question. Hold on.
Sure.
I've noticed, and this is with my personal iPhone, whatever like if you have a couple emails on your iPhone, whatever the last email you were in, that's where it's going to send it from. So if you have any other email already programmed on the phone besides your Ches Pub, and you happen to be in that the last time before sending this to your customer, it'll be sent from that email account.
Well, that's a good point. Let me look down through the settings here, because I know that there is a default account setting that's located here, and that should be the one that it's using. So the default email on my phone is the Chess Pub. That's not to say that I can't change it, but there's also a difference when you're looking at the mail. For example, if I go into the mail program, which we've not really looked at, this is all inboxes. This is everything. And I've got multiple email accounts. if I go to, I'm going a little quick here, so let me back up. At the top where it says mailboxes, right here, if I go
Right.
into mailboxes, I can specify that, look, I'm going to work in my Gmail, and this is only my Gmail. And so at that point, if I was to do a new message, you would expect it to be from the Gmail.
Correct.
Okay? But if I'm in all inboxes, then I would expect it to use my default, which is the Alltop at Chesapeake. So it may
Okay.
just be a matter of, if you're actually working at this level and going in and saying, well, here's Rackspace, here's Gmail, these are all separate email accounts. If you're specifically using this filter, then yes, it's going to do that.
David, can you show us how to set up select? Because some of them may have multiple accounts. Make one default
Yes.
under settings.
One last thing before I navigate away from here, it's important to note, if you scroll down this list, you see where it says accounts at the bottom? If you click on that, this is where you can actually see everything that you've sent, received. So if I go into the sent items down here, these are all the messages that I've sent. Just like on Thunderbird, you go to the sent folder. So if you have sent something from your desktop, and you walk away from your desktop, and you're out of the field and saying, oh man, I sent that from the desktop, where, now I got to drive back to get that. All you have to do is go in and go to your sent items, and you can retrieve that email. It's synchronized everywhere. That's okay. The question was, how do we get there? So if we go back to all inboxes, so this is what your mail normally looks like. I go to mailboxes, and if you go down to where it says accounts at the bottom, this is the actual folder space. This is the actual sent items, trash, deleted, the same thing that shows up in your Thunderbird. But back to the other question, which was, how do you set the defaults? You find your settings, which it could be in a different area than where mine's located. And then you go to mail contacts, calendars. And as you scroll down this list, you'll see a default account setting. And this is also where you can change your signature if you'd like it to say something other than sent from my iPhone. This is also controls your sort order. Some people may like the sort order by the display name versus so the display order can be first name, first name. You have different options here. This is also where your default account for your contact right now, you should be set for Gmail, because that's what we're using for synchronization for your desktop stations. Notice down here further where it says calendars. This is your default calendar, which is and you can see I've got a lot of calendars, but my default calendar is the chest bar.
How do you have the calendars on there? Because I don't have any calendars in that icon area.
Well, if you've been shared a calendar, then on your iPhone it is required that you do this step. Now, I'm going to go back to this window here. I'm in Safari, and you'll notice across the bottom, all the way to the right, you have an icon that looks like two monitors. When you click on that, this shows you how many windows you have open. So I can simply hit X, and it brings up an untitled page, basically a clean page. That's also important if you have, if you ever used a browser that has multiple tabs or multiple windows, that is how you navigate between multiple windows as well. You know what, I've got this bookmarked, I think. I'm going to go to the bookmark tab, and nope, not the right one. Okay, I don't have it bookmarked, so I'm going to go ahead and type it in fresh. In order to add a calendar that's been shared to you, you have to go to m.google.com/send. What you would do then is you sign in to your Gmail account.
Okay.
I'm signing in so I can show you. Once you've signed into your account, you're going to see this. And you need to specify whether you want to add this calendar to your iPhone or to the iPad. In this case, I'm going to go to the iPhone. You'll want to make sure that these top two are checked so that if you are sending mail from Gmail or you're deleting stuff out of your Gmail, that you can basically your phone can interact with the Gmail business systems just the same as a web interface. And if you scroll down, you'll see all of the calendars that I'm subscribed to. So I can, so if you've been shared a calendar, you physically have to go in here and actually select it to have it show up. So if I were you, I'd bookmark that, which I'm going to do now, by hitting the little box and saying add bookmark. And it kind of brings us to another point. I'm going to go to another page. I'm going to go to the bookmark tab here. Now I forget which one's which. And I'm going to add this to my desktop as an icon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this square with the arrow, and I'm going to add it to the home screen. I learned this in the last lesson. We sat there and figured this out. Is Gina on the phone? Dina, yeah. Well, she actually figured this out when we were in the last class, so I'm sharing this with you, and this is Dina's discovery because we were looking through different options. And you'll notice now that there's an app on the desktop that says eProofs. And when you click on it, it will take you directly to eProofs. A couple things to note. You notice that there's no navigation bars, so you're at a static page. The other thing is even though I was logged in already, it requires me to log in every time I hit it. So, you know, it's kind of interesting that it does that, but there is some downside to it. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. I'm going to press hold till it wiggles, hit the X, and I've deleted it, and it's gone. And then by double clicking this button here, it turns the wiggling off so that you're no longer editing the icons. We have about 10 more minutes, I think, in this session. Any other thoughts?
Any other questions on the basic overview of how to use the iPhone?
Here's something that may...
Dave, this is Roger again.
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah?
Roger here again. Just asking about the TS.